Ooh.
I know that noise. Yo, welcome back to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. It's Mr. Brown, Broken Guapo, coming at you on my Fat Joe lean back, cook, crack, and you know I'm not. I fucked that one up.
Yeah, that was different. That was
My
different.
bad. My bad. I'm just, bro, I'm really excited right now.
Yeah.
We're in a new place. We got a new home. I'm still homeless, but you know, we'll be all right. We got fucking shiny lights, nice furniture. I could lean back.
Right? Nigga, we made damn. We might have to cut that part. We made it. It's your boy Spence, Mr. 20%, wealth strategist, King Aquarius, all that fun stuff. Yeah, no, we in a new space. We got comfy couches.
Yes, sir. The creative campus powered by Court Vision.
Gang, invite only. If y'all want to tap in, slide in the DMs, let us know. But it is
Exclusive.
very exclusive. Exclusivity is key. With all that being said, you got a question for us? I wish Brian zoomed in on your face for that. I bet. So, my question for today is, would you rather make a fast nickel or a slow dime? It's crazy because you whispering,
But
like,
it sounds crystal clear.
in my ear. Weird.
Fast nickel. Bro, that's just awkward because now our people that just listen on like Spotify and shit. Guys, Spencer just slurped it out here. I'm sorry.
I know you like it.
A fast nickel or a quick dime?
Or a slow dime.
A fast nickel or a slow dime?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, not really like diving into it, I would say a fast nickel because as soon as I get it, I can multiply it anyways.
Okay. That's interesting. I don't think there's a wrong answer there. I think if you're a hustler, you're going to say a fast nickel. If you're an investor, you'll say a slow dime. In a lot of different areas, you'll realize that a lot of the dividends and like the real money or just the real return on investment in most things is just like the slow play.
Over time.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what they say, like, you know, you got to be patient and yada, yada, yada. But my thing is like with patience also comes hard work. You know what I mean?
That part.
So it's like that patience never pays off if you're sitting stagnant. Like while you're being patient, you still have to be moving. You still have to be progressing, working hard. So it's like if you are ultimately not grinding, right? And those little things add up to the big things. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say, give me the little thing. I'm going to turn a nickel into $1 quick.
That's a fact. I think you got to just do both.
True. I didn't know that was an option.
I mean,
I would have took 15 cents over 5. I'm just saying.
If there's a 15-cent piece?
Well, no, because you said you got to do both, a nickel and a dime.
Bet.
So
I used to work with a guy at the Marriott. It's like another day, another $1. Mm-hmm. His thing's like another day, another 50 cent. And I was just like, he used to drive me crazy. That's not the same guy. But
so let me ask you a question.
Yo, we really like lounge.
Comfy.
We haven't had back support ever. It's the little things, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.
Bro, big facts. You know, I've been doing a lot of reflecting, contrary to some people's beliefs.
At them. No, I'm joking.
Listen, I might have my petty pants on. Don't get me started.
I'm ready.
Oh yeah, he wants all the smoke. Call him Chimney. So I've been doing, self-reflecting and I've been told that like, Jacob, sometimes you self-sabotage or you did this on purpose, right? Let's start off there. Have you ever consciously or purposely self-sabotaged?
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
I ordered a medium pizza last Thursday, which I know wasn't part of my diet. That's like, I really, as I'm eating it, I'm just like, damn, I've been doing so good. I've been 12 weeks in the gym. I've been eating semi-clean. And I was just like, I don't know, this $12 pizza at Enfield Pizza is going to go back. Is that considered self-sabotage?
That's what I don't know, because to me, self-sabotage is almost like a situation, maybe a situation you don't want to be in. So it's like, let me, bro, I think move the thing back a little because you're hitting the cord. Unless that's me. There you go. It was like rubbing up on you. Oh, sorry. Like, to me, self-sabotage is like, I don't want to be in this situation. You know what I mean? So what? And instead of just leaving the situation, let me just destroy this so the situation can implode on itself. That, to me, is my definition of self-sabotage.
Interesting. Nah, if that's the case, then no.
No. Do you think it's possible to subconsciously self-sabotage?
I'm sure.
That's just not your style.
I would like to think that, bro, I'm very intentional. Like, especially since I've started journaling, I'm pretty intentional about like what it is I want to do. I mean, y'all know like certain things. I like even in the group chat, like I just don't tolerate like certain like points of view because it's so far from like how mine is. I'm like, nah, I won't even like. Dad and Dad are fighting again. But yeah, it's I'm sure I do. I can't think of it off the top. Self-sabotaging. When have I ever self-sabotaged? I probably in relationship. Ooh, so I was in a very toxic relationship with a Virgo. And
do I know said Virgo?
No, this is before any of us met, for the better. And I think I performed like Inception. I literally changed like who I was for probably like 6 to 8 months that year because I needed her to break up with me.
Excuse me?
Yeah. I needed. There was some things that I like. Never, unless you're married, let a significant other put anything in their name, because it's like if you break up, it's like, oh no, I have the right to be petty. I'm gonna take this shit. Long story short, I had my car registered in her name, and I couldn't rightfully figure out a way to get out of that cleanly unless I got her to break up with me.
So you were just being a dick.
Nah, I wasn't being a dick. This was a very strategic, like, downward spiral that, like, I did. And she used to say, like, you're just acting totally different. I don't even know this person. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, talking about, like, toxic and gaslighting. Like, what a time to be alive.
So it's interesting you bring the word gaslighting up, because that's almost what I was going to say is that kind of part of self-sabotaging, right? Gaslighting, but also maybe not really realizing that you're unhappy or you don't want to be a situation. It could be a job. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I don't want to be at this job. So, you know what? I know I'm supposed to be here at 8. I could pull up at 8:10. You know what I mean? Or I could walk around like my shit don't stink. To me, that is a form of self-sabotaging. Like doing stuff that you know is going to fuck up your bag, whether it's relationship, job, whatever the case is. And then you're doing it subconsciously knowing you shouldn't do it.
Well, you know what it is? A lot of people are terrified of being successful or living up to their own greatness because in the back of their head, they think, if I do all this effort and I do all this work and I don't achieve it, now I'm going to feel like shit. Not thinking like, hey, if I just keep going, like eventually I'm always going to achieve whatever I'm set out to do. So I think there's people who self-sabotage that way, and yeah, maybe they don't realize it. I've definitely, if that's the case, I've definitely done that too.
Maybe I'm not articulating this correctly, and maybe you can help me. Based on what you just said, what's scarier, success or failure?
I think the go-to answer is failure. But I think what you need to do to be successful is what's scary to people. Like that person you need to be. Like if you really envision who you want to be in 10 years, everything that you want to have, the stadium, the house, the family, imagine how that person would need to live to have all that. You need to start living like that now. And I think to people that's terrifying because they're like, oh shit, like.
See, to that point though, does everybody doesn't know what it takes to be successful?
This is true.
Because I was telling somebody today, right? When I was playing soccer, bro, year round, January, I was outside training twice a day. I remember before leaving to Croatia being outside with leggings, Under Armour, shorts, sweats, running at Trinity College in December, January.
Dedication.
You get what I'm saying? But it's like people don't really understand that, like, yo, in order to get where do I want to be, I'm going to have to do shit I've never done. Or maybe they understand it, but they don't know what those things are.
Yeah.
And like you said, those things are really scary because it's like I'm breaking out of comfort zones. I got to do shit that I got to go run these stairs while everybody's inside. What the fuck is this nigga doing? You know?
Yeah, you have to be, you literally have to be the difference. And that's also scary because if all your peers are out partying, drinking, smoking, and you're the one person running around a track in the middle of winter,
right?
People are automatically going to look at you differently. And like that is being secluded. Like we're naturally social beings.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
you and I, or humans in general?
Humans in general are naturally social beings. You got to think of every form of civilization. No one lived on their own and survived.
Okay.
Like everyone has to have their village. They have to have their tribe. So to separate yourself from that and stick with it because you know that the goal that you have in mind is bigger than what everyone else is doing at that time. So you have to give up the short-term emotion for the long-term success. That's scary. That sucks.
Right.
Like, there's friends, family, people I love who I haven't seen in years just because they know, bro, I'm in grind mode. Like,
right.
Like in my head, like I know life is short, but also I'm like, I plan on living a long time and it's just like, I gotta get it.
So it's interesting you bring the conversation there, and I don't know if like you're doing this intentionally, but you know, I've got friends everywhere. You know what I mean? And like, you know how much I really actually don't like people. Yes. So it's like for me to actually like consider them friends, it's like I've got a core like 8-10 people up in Buffalo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got my small circle here. Like I went to Samia. So I saw Elijah, but I was like, bro, we're January 28th at this point. I was like, bro, this is the first time I'm seeing you this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, how often do you like check in with your circle? And especially because sometimes, like you were saying, you need to keep people at bay or at a distance because those people can self-sabotage, for lack of better terms, or sabotage what you got going on. They can sabotage your success.
Yeah.
Whether it's intentional or not.
As we know, I compartmentalize like crazy. And I'm a big proponent of out of sight, out of mind. So it's like, unfortunately, like if I don't see you on like social media, like I'll think about people, and I've learned now, like when I think about people, I need to shoot them a text or like a call in that moment.
Bro, when I was playing this, do you check in on people?
Do I check in on people?
Granted, I talk to you almost every day, so I'm not worried about me, but like, do you?
I do professionally and like in my
if you got the money, I got you. If not,
well, no, it's interesting because like in my practice, I just did a lot of my annual reviews in January, and I'm literally just like babysitting people. It's just like, oh, all right, where have you done? Oh, you didn't listen to anything I said. Okay, well, what are we gonna do for this New Year? But also, yeah, I try to check in on loved ones more, but I think everyone just knows, like, and I appreciate people in my life. They just understand, like, yo, Spencer just works like crazy. And like you said the other day, it's like, yo, he's not going to stop till he gets to where he wants. So I guess you just got to respect it. And like, it's like, I love you from a distance, but it's also all love. I feel like, especially all my guy friends, we could text, we could talk sporadically, but when I see you, it's like, yo, it's all love. It's
right.
Like, it's almost like we hadn't missed a beat. And if we did, it's like, all right, let's catch up. Like, what's different?
Is that healthy? Like, because like you were saying, like we need people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Is it healthy to kind of like, because yeah, you have the people. Yeah.
I think it is for me. And nobody believes me, but like I'm an introvert to my core, an ambivert by trade, introvert to my core. So I need time away from people to recharge.
Word.
Like Like even what old boy was saying is like, yo, it takes 24 hours to stay in the house. I think that's powerful.
Facts.
Bro, like what you used to do on Sundays. Like Sundays used to be your day. Like, nah, bro, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing shit. I need that. But I also need people who will drag me out the house because I will live in a cave if I could.
And the beautiful thing about that, like you have a lot of security, one in yourself, but security in friendships. You know what I mean? Like, I think in our age, especially with like, we're all go-getters. You know what I mean? So like if I don't see you, bro, my friends in Buffalo, I think I see twice a year.
That's good.
Once or twice a year. Granted, we FaceTime, we talk, yada yada yada, but like in person, like I can actually hug you. Like I see once or twice a year, but it's no love lost.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's one of those things like this has come more prevalent to me, I think, in the last 3 weeks. Everybody that I know is going through something. Everyone's going through something. Always, right? But like there's always something going on, and it's like the cliche, don't forget to check in on your strong friends, but like you never really know when to like, yo, Spencer, like I haven't, your niece, you remember the one time I met her or whatever, and sporadically I'd be like, yo, how's she doing? But like you never know. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this could have happened, or people are always going through things, and I think like you have the one strong friend that's always checking in on people or being there for people, and you forget that you're still human, right? And people forget to check on you. So it's one of, I don't know if
so being that strong friend, it's so funny you say that because the last couple of weeks, some of my friends, they were going through some crazy shit. And I was actually annoyed. I'm like, yo, why didn't you hit me? Like, you were just over here suffering in silence. Like, I pulled up on them. I'm like, all right, let's talk. Some people just need that, like, positive reinforcement because, people are shitty. Like, you can't always trust it. I find it crazy that people allow themselves to be around individuals who they can't trust in their circle.
Sometimes you don't know, though. Judas was best friends with Jesus.
Yeah, but I can't touch on that topic. This is a well-written storybook. But yeah, it's I think I'm gifted in that where, again, I could feel what someone else is feeling, but I don't have to like let it run me. Whereas like there's people who literally will sit in certain emotions and like bathe in that shit. And just like, yo, when are you gonna like dry off? Like when you gonna get up and dry,
right.
like just like change the scenery. But I'm able to be that for people. So I don't know when I ever need that.
That check-in that.
Yeah, because I like my circle, like y'all, like we talk all the time. Y'all essentially, I'm pretty transparent though.
But I think we know when you need that. And it might come in a joking manner, but those days when it's like, Spencer tired, Spencer hungry, Spencer not joking. It's like, yo, Spencer, you good? Like, it might come in a joking manner, but it's like, and you will always answer. Like you said, you're a straight shooter, like, nah, bro, I haven't slept in a day, or this chick stressing me because of this, or that. You know what? Not this chick, but like, you know what I mean? Like
hypotheticals.
Yeah. Sorry. Like, but no, like, I think we, especially amongst us four, know how to read each other well enough. Like, the days that I come here that I'm like, that I used to coach and then do this and then that, and then y'all will look at me like, last week, Brian was like, yeah, nigga, you need food before you get, like, stop and pick up a couple slices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one thing that, like, sits with me, and I think we're in this generation of energy right now. What is it? Don't introduce me to an energy you can't keep up, or a vibe, or whatever the fuck the bullshit is people are saying. But my thing is like, now people are saying like, oh, I'm big on
reciprocity.
That's the big word. Appreciate you, brother. I'm big on that big R word, right? And it's like, oh, if they're not checking on me, I'm not checking on them. And like, to me, that's not how friendships work.
Yeah, I think
that's not a friendship. That's you being bitter.
I think it all goes down to character, and even a comment you made earlier about like people showing certain love to us, like, well, like, why should we do it? But it's also like one of those things is like, if you're a loving person, like that shit shouldn't be turned off. You know what I'm saying? Like
unconditional love.
Like if you're always like, if that's like what gets you going, like I was just talking to someone yesterday and like they are a very loving, compassionate person.
Right.
Like that's their MO, to where if they were guarded, it's almost like, yo, what is happening? Because you're never like this. I think if you're going to live that truth, you have to live that truth all the time. So it's like, regardless how people are doing you, like if your character said like, no, I'm gonna give love regardless, like it just is what it is.
I think one thing about unconditional love, it's in the word, it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? And sometimes when it does stop or when it wavers is because you feel a type of way. You know what I mean? Like you feel to that statement like, oh, they're not checking on me, so I'm not going to do this to them. It's like, no, that's not a friend. That's not love. And one thing that like, and I'm literally thinking about this now because there's certain friends that I've distanced myself for whatever reasons. But one thing that I did learn from my ex, and I'm not saying she only taught me one thing because she taught me many things, but I'm not here to bash exes on the How'd I Get Here podcast.
Which ex? No, say her name. All right, my bad.
But like communication, everything could be healed with a conversation. You know what I mean? And like that, where the unconditional love is like, oh, I'm now gonna waver. Like, no, if you really love that person and they did something that bothered you, you would have spoke to them.
That part.
You know what I mean? Like, regardless of the outcome, regardless of like what you think you might do to that person, a conversation heals a lot of shit. And that's a lesson I'm still learning to this day.
You and me both. I've definitely coddled people who were strong enough to hear my truth.
Or even sometimes, strong enough to hear your truth, or maybe you didn't feel like even having a conversation, or they didn't deserve the time of day. Like, I feel like it is not fair to just shut people out. Now, like, if I've told you time and time again, and it's all right, bro, we ain't got to run in this circle.
Yeah.
But you can warrant a conversation.
Yeah. I've like I said, my go-to, I love being transparently, like just honest, but I feel like I gauge it too much, whereas like people should just know that's my MO. Like I'm just gonna say I'm a straight shooter in certain things, and if I'm wrong, let's have a dialogue. But I'm also like, I'm stubborn in the fact like you have to really convince me I'm wrong, because
you come with the facts.
Yeah, like once I have it in my head, like it takes a lot to change it, but it's possible.
Word. You ever get nervous going into like conversations like that?
Conversations.
Or tough. Well, let's start there. Relationship conversation, and we'll go into other conversations. You ever get nervous?
In general,
right now, do you ever get nervous? Are you single? I heard you fuck your girl. Is it true? You getting money? You think them niggas is with you? I did just quote Drake.
Damn right.
Well, conversations like that. Do things like conversation. Let's start there. Conversations that could be seen as what's the word I'm looking for? Confrontational.
I don't get nervous for those conversations.
Okay.
I get nervous talking to people who I've never met and know nothing about me, which I do for a living. So it's like I do cold calls, right? If I connect with you on LinkedIn and you're someone who I want to talk to, chances are I'm going to call you out the blue and disrupt your day.
Spencer just lost 20 connections on LinkedIn. This nigga about to call me. Get away.
But if you read my bio, it pretty much says that.
Word.
So it's like, yeah, before every call, I like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. Like, I try to read their profile and get every bit of information I could get from them, every connection that we have similar to each other, where they went to school, where they grew up. I try to, like, gain everything I can and then make this call. But I'm definitely nervous as I'm dialing. And then once they answer, it's like, ooh, it's showtime.
Yo! And he's in his head like, why do I sound like that? Stop using that voice. My language is tight. That's the thing. Like, being in those uncomfortable situations, it just makes you better, because then when I talk to people I know, like, shit, when I met X for the first time at the Republic, he was like, oh, what do you do?
and I have a 30-second
Spiel. Your elevator. Yep. That you always talk about.
I have a 30-second elevator pitch, and I was like, I don't want to go into that because it's gonna sound really just like cliche and corny. Like, let me just try to have a real conversation. But because I'm so good to disrupting people's day with that elevator pitch, I'm just like, it's like my go-to.
Right. What you just said is actually really interesting. Being like just having a conversation. You get what I'm saying? Because you do always want to be your authentic self, but sometimes, and maybe I don't want to say those are the times that I get nervous, but it's like when does like authenticity almost like waver, and now it's like now I'm thinking too much. You know what I mean?
I mean, consistency breeds confidence. So it's like if you are you all the time and you're constantly working on yourself, like what the fuck could you possibly tell me?
Right.
Like I work on myself. Like I wake up at 4 a.m. and I don't get to bed till 10 or 11.
Right.
If you like, not that I judge people by like how they like structure their day, but if I know, it's like Kobe. Why the fuck would I pass you the ball if I know you're not practicing as much as I shot this 3-pointer a million different ways in a million different scenarios. I feel more comfortable taking this shot than passing it to you because I know you drank last night.
It's funny because yesterday I posted nobody's gonna work harder than me this year.
Yeah.
Right. And it was cute because there were like 4 or 5 people that slid in my DMs like, oh, I'm in the gym right now. Oh, I'm doing this. My nigga, I was doing it at 5 o'clock this morning.
Facts.
What are you talking? I'm on my 4th job right now. So it's like when you do what you're supposed to do, talking that shit comes easier.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's not a form of cockiness. It's like sometimes I need that reminder, like, actually I am him. Whoever he is, right? That's me because I put that work in.
Hemi neutron.
I mean, if that's what you want to call it. You talking about my forehead again, bro?
Yeah.
Nah, but it's funny because when I ask the question of like, are you ever nervous, right?
Yeah.
The more I do this podcast, the more like it just hit me last week. I speak to about 100 people a day. Students, kids, adults, parents, like whatever it is. And now it's like I can turn it on, I can turn it off, I could talk to a kid, talk to an adult, whatever the case is. But the more I do that, I'm comfortable. But the first thing that comes to nerves, I think about sports, right? I carry myself in the manner of like, you are a former professional player. You know, I mean, you were playing on big stages, but you still got to be that guy while you're evolving, while you're no longer that guy. You know what I mean? Sitting in front of, I remember.
You have to tap into that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got to now tap into him and still be like, you know what? He still exists. You know what I mean? Playing in Honduras in front of over 10,000 fans, I was shitting myself that day. You know what I mean? When I think of nerves, those are the things that I think of, not things that I do today on an everyday, schedule.
It's second nature.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like, that's what makes me think, nervous. I could step in front of somebody. I'm never going to make a fool out of myself. Guess what? I got the gift of gab.
Yeah, you also got to think too, like the average person, and I hate like using the term average, they're not used to doing anything like on a grand scale. Most people, they get up, they go to a job that they can't stand, they get a paycheck that's way undervalued by like what they're capable of. They rinse and repeat.
Society's okay with mediocrity.
You're supposed to be mediocre. Like, you're supposed to fall in line. Like,
but that bro, my junior year of high school, right? I was dating this girl. We broke up. I'm 15, 16 years old. Who cares, right? And from that point, I don't know. You was
16 in junior? Oh, man.
I turned.
Nah.
No, I did. Yeah, because I graduated at 17.
What?
Yeah, I graduated high school at 17.
Oh, you have a late birthday. You have an October birthday.
Yeah.
But junior high is 6th to 8th grade.
No, junior year. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, bro.
junior year, my bad.
Okay.
Dating this girl, and I don't know what clicked, right? But I said, I don't know where I'm going to college. I'm leaving Connecticut. Like I knew from that point, and I don't know what the correlation was. I was like, bro, I just don't want to be here. And I did everything in my power to make sure. But like nowadays, kids, I have this student. He has no idea how gifted he is. No idea. Like
I know some people like that.
No, and I had to, and I had to tell him the other day. I said, bro, I'm so hard on you because I see your potential. And I was like, bro, I grew up in I didn't grow up in the streets, but like I grew up in these same streets. My dad still lives on Bonner Street. You know what I mean? I was like, bro, have you ever Googled me? He was like, why would I do that? I said, bro, Google me.
Is it fair to be hard on that kid though?
Yes.
If he doesn't see his own potential, is it okay to force feed him?
So then how do you get the best out of people like that then? Am I just supposed to coddle you?
Nah, I think everyone's different. I think if you're an athlete, then you're used to like tough love. But
right.
I think exposure really goes like a lot. Like people just don't know. Like you don't know what you don't know. So it's like if you don't know past Hartford, it's hard to like imagine living it like in another country. It's hard to imagine, like you got to think, we made that reference weeks ago. Like it's hard to imagine for our parents to get on a plane and go places when they grew up because no, that's what rich people do. But it's like, honestly, I don't know how much it was back then, but it's really not that expensive or like hard to do. So like you pushing this person who's not ready to either receive it or maybe that's not the best way they will receive it. Right. I just don't know if that's warranted.
It's twofold. You hit on two things. One, exposure, right?
Yep.
I am trying to expose him to his next potential. I'm trying to expose him to what he's capable of and say, listen, bro, if you do X, Y, Z, the world is your oyster, but do you want it? And that brings me to my second point. I can't want this more than he wants it for himself. And I find with like the hungry, like ambitious person that I am, bro, from the day I met Brian, right, at Highland Park, what was it, 4 years ago, I was like, bro, you could do some shit with this. You could do some
camera, right?
With the camera.
Bro.
And mind you, he was just starting. And I used to be like, yo, Brian, you should probably freelance. Oh, but which his reasons were valid, but it was like, bro, you have no idea. Like, I'm getting excited for you because I see how dope you are. But that's one of those things, like, true love is wanting more for someone than they want for themselves, but you can't want shit more than people want it for themselves. I could show you. You get what I'm saying? But I really can't until you get it more excited than me, because I can't do what you do.
That's a fact. And that's where the unconditional love starts becoming draining. Because it's also, like, how do you, especially if this is, like, someone that you know and love, like, it's hard not to think of this person differently.
Facts.
When you know they're not living up to their potential. But it's like, who am I to impose my thoughts of your greatness on you if your version of greatness is what I consider mediocrity?
Right.
It's tough.
I mean, that's interesting, though, because it ties back into what we were saying and how you said the unconditional, like, yo, I still got to love you.
Yeah,
I still gotta fuck with you.
I still gotta love you, but I also, like, I have to separate myself because birds of a feather. And it's like, like what people say, like, if you're around a bunch of people who aren't doing shit, you're around 5 people who aren't doing shit, you're the 6th one. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, if you're around 5 millionaires, eventually you will be the 6th one.
Facts.
Just by being around them. So it's like, yeah, like, I don't mind being that friend, but I also, like, bro, who am I looking up to? Like, one of my friends told me, he's like, bro, you need to get in rooms where you the little nigga. Like, he's like, nah, bro, like, you're so ambitious, like, you got so much, like, but you need, like, to be in rooms where you can learn from folks, not like you're always giving out information and teaching. I'm like, bro, I feel you, because I feel like I know a lot because I study a lot, but I also don't really know shit.
Right.
And I would like to know a lot more. So yeah, that's tough. That's been like the last couple years of my life. It's like, yo, who should I be surrounding myself, who I know and love and I've grown up with? And who are new people that I need to meet, who I need to, like, cultivate lasting relationships with that are going to also help me grow so I can help them grow.
Right. And that brings me to, bro, I love how this shit works. Yo, when you are in the creative campus powered by Court Vision,
pew, 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 exclusivity.
Shit just pops off. Like, because it's crazy how this shit is just flowing. But that brings me to my next point, right? Yo, I see you're great. I see you're great. I see you're great. I keep telling you. I tell you. I tell you. I tell you. I tell you. At what point do I stop telling you? I could wrap that another way. Yo, Spencer, your girl's toxic. Your girl's toxic. I don't like her. I don't like her. Right? Hypotheticals again.
Yeah.
You know, at what point do I stop telling? Because again, we're talking about unconditional love, but I guess the point of the question is, when you see something in somebody, right? How many times do you tell them until it's just like, all right, bro, I ain't see nothing?
It's one of those things. It's like, I'll keep telling you, but at the end of the day, if you, a person I know and love, don't value like what I'm saying to you, you just need to learn on your own. Like, because I know there's certain things that people can tell me about anyone. If they haven't done anything wrong to me, like I take it with a grain of salt. Like I don't know the relationship y'all have together. Maybe it was like oil and water, like y'all just didn't mix. I need to give them an opportunity to fuck me over. And then when that happens, like, all right, well, now we can talk about it. Like, oh, here's some commonalities, blah, blah, blah. But I think people, what was the quote I heard? You can't take people away from the test that's gonna inevitably be their testimony.
Ooh, say that shit again.
That was hard. You can't take people away from the test that's inevitably going to be their testimony. So it's like people need to go through trials and tribulations. That's literally where the character is built. If you live in any type of like sales environment or business environment, they said you need to fail fast and fail forward, because the more you fail, the closer you are to succeeding, which is tough because, bro, I hate, like, I'm good at what I do, and I try not to think about as many times as I fail. Anyone who's good at what they do, they just failed more than the other person.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Messi, you know how many kicks, like, he's probably missed?
Facts.
That he now, like, it's second nature. Like, bro, like that video of him trapping the ball, and I was like, yo, is this impressive or is this just like a him thing? Like, no, that's impressive. But you gotta think of how long it took him to be able to do, like, how many times
Facts.
he had to do that. He just did that more than the average person.
So then let me wrap that question differently. Shit, how do I say this without saying it? I'm gonna ask two questions. First question. You see my girlfriend out. Hypothetical again. I do not have any girlfriends. Valentine's Day is coming up, probably past.
That was plural too.
By the time y'all hear this shit, you see my girlfriend out cheating, right? She sees you see her cheating, like y'all make eye contact, like, hey, I see what you're doing, right? Are you telling me?
Yeah.
Okay. Elaborate. Just because you my mans?
I'm probably calling on the spot. First of all, you know me, I'm petty. I'm probably recording. I'm recording. I'm shoot.
Like, niggas going on Instagram Live, like,
I'm
yo, so we here.
I'm zooming. I always knew she wasn't shit, bro. No, I'm joking. I'm telling you in some capacity. I don't know if I'm telling you in that moment.
Right.
But it's like, when I feel like the next best opportunity to tell you is that you're going to be able to receive it, for sure. And I might even give it, like, say it's like 2 a.m. I'm probably not going to call you like 2 a.m. unless I know you're up. I might even give her the opportunity to beat me to it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely. Like, would you?
Yes.
Depends on the friend.
No. I if I see your current girlfriend cheating, absolutely. Right. Now, this brings me to the second point. Right. Okay. And I think I needed to preface this with that. You see my ex-girlfriend out talking to a whole nother nigga. Yeah. Are you going to come to me next week and be like, yo, or next day, oh, I saw such and such, knowing I still care about her, still like her, maybe even still involved? Or is that one of those things like, I'm going to protect you by minding my fucking business? You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times friends will run and be like, oh, this nigga was doing this. I saw, but like, bro, we not together. Like, you're hurting me more by bringing this shit up. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I say, like, the cheating thing. Some people believe, like, yo, if that person wants to do that dirt, then I'm going to allow them, because I know I'm going to come to you and it's going to hurt you. But then you can now question my loyalty. See, so
these are vastly different though. Like, if it's an ex that you still care about and they out mingling or whatever, I'll tell you the next time I see you, which will probably be in a week. So like, if it happened on Friday, I'll probably bring it up. I'm like, yo, Guess what I saw? Unless I know like you're still like going through it. Like
Right.
if you're talking to me like, yo, I just want to get her back. Like, no, I think like we're close. Da, da, da. Nah, bro. Like I just saw her. I just saw her outside, like hugged up on the next dude, bro. Like let it go.
And some people don't know how to let it go. Let it go.
Elsa, come on the pocket. No, I'm joking. You don't like Frozen? Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty straight through because I'm like, and I think people don't realize this about me is like I'm so transparent and I'm such a straight shooter because that's how I prefer to get my information. Like you don't really need to beat around the bush. And you know what it is? The people who I do need to beat around the bush with, I think I subconsciously separate myself from them because, bro, you're not gonna like being around me. Like I'm going to like if you're doing some bullshit, I'm gonna call you out on it.
Hey,
it's like
sometimes that transparency is very necessary, and you have to set the tone with people from the jump. You got to let them know, like anybody that's getting involved with you knows what they're getting into.
It's interesting you say that. So, if you. Because you know how they say actions speak louder than words, right?
I disagree. Well, I agree. Actions speak louder than words, but your actions need to match your words. That's what I say.
Actions speak louder than words, but your actions need to match your words. Interesting. So, I don't know how to give a good example of this.
I got him. Took 57 episodes, but I got him.
We fucking got him. No, because I have a very specific story that I don't want to tell. Yeah. I think what happened.
Got him, coach. Do you want me to give context to that statement and we could dissect that?
Yeah.
So I was dating this person that lived in one of the five boroughs in New York? 6? How many boroughs? Ash, how many boroughs in New York? 5. I was right.
6?
No, I said 5 initially. I don't know why I questioned. Yo, people, don't second guess yourselves. One of the 5 boroughs, right? And we had, in my mind, I'm not going to project my feelings on said person. In my mind, we had something good going, right? But she was saying one thing, but her actions were saying the other. Said actions were stronger than
her words.
The words. You get what I'm saying?
Actions do speak louder than words.
Yeah, but guess what? Your actions are saying, "Hey, I want to be with you." Your words are saying, "Nah, nigga, I don't." You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's like, if I'm really listening to your actions, you want to be with me. So that's why I say actions do speak louder than words, but never ignore what people are saying, and they have to match.
So, thank you for that, because I didn't want to give my my story.
You got him, coach.
So, yeah, I think that is a shame on you. Being the person on the other end who's like, bro, I said this is how I am. Yeah, my action. It's like I told you, like I was transparent. This is how I am. This is what I want right now. This is what I don't want right now. We can do whatever in the interim. And regardless is like what's happening in the interim. I think what happens is that because those actions are speaking louder than the words that were initially spoken, people who are caring and compassionate and empathetic, they're naturally going to give out that energy because it's second nature. It's like, oh yeah, you need something? I got you. Oh, this? I got you. Like we've been doing whatever for the X amount of time. Like it's just right. Like you're like, as a decent human being, I would do this anyways. It just so happens we're sleeping together as well. So like maybe I'll go the next level. But at the end of the day, it's like, bro, like unless that conversation isn't brought up again, it's like it's up to you.
In that instance, actions didn't speak louder than words. The words spoke loud and fucking clear, and I was listening to the actions.
Yeah, but do they need to match?
Yeah, because clearly the two need to be lined up if you're gonna progress.
I think the two need to be lined up if you're dealing with someone who's emotionally reactive. Because if you're because a lot of people listen to their emotion more than their logic. Again, I'm very left brain, so it's like if this is what was said, this is what it is, regardless what happened, regardless what's happening. No, this is it. Like, this is the narrative.
So then, what do you listen to? People with actions, or do you listen to someone's words?
I listen to the words and I take heed of their actions. Like, I'm paying attention to their actions, and I realize where this is naturally, organically growing to. But the words that were initially spoken, unless we circle back and we change that narrative, that's what I'm living on.
Bro, I looking back on situations, not even the one I just, alluded to, I do think words are more important than actions.
For sure. Bro, I've seen a lot of my boys who like who
I wonder if we're laughing at the same thing right now.
No.
Oh, okay.
But maybe. But I've seen a lot of my boys who like start off with something that's just like, oh, we're having fun, whatever, and like it got serious, and they have the conversation with me like, yo, how did I get here? Like, bro, like I don't know. I'm in too deep. I don't know how to get out of it. I don't understand. Like, what do you mean you're in too deep? Like, get out. Like,
yeah.
Like, how does this person make you feel? How do you feel about this person? Oh, you still feel like this is a friends with benefits situation? You should probably get out.
Bro, I think people should listen more often.
Yeah.
And not listen for what you want to hear. Because a lot of time is, I could say 3 sentences and I'm going to take 2 words from each sentence and make my own statement.
Yep.
To line up with the actions.
Yeah.
Instead of really listening to what you're telling me and not listening just to hear. Like, I'm hearing to listen. Was that a bar?
Sorry, I had to think about it. Not listening to hear, I'm hearing to listen. Yeah, that is a bar. The fact that you had to ask.
Oh, because you thought about it. Normally you like, yeah, nigga, I got him twice. No, but it's like really, really like listen to what people are telling you. You know what I mean? Like I think that's one of those things like fuck actions. Not fuck actions, but like you really, really got to listen to people's words. You could tell a lot about what somebody's saying, their intentions, their mind state, their feelings. You listen to, I take pride in within the first 5 minutes of talking to you, I could tell a lot more about you than you even realize.
Yeah. Being someone, like if you're around someone who's like, also a wordsmith who like knows how to effectively communicate in a specific way, that like there's nothing definitive said until there's something definitive said. I've been told it's hard to navigate around that. Word.
Well, shit, we've been chopping it up almost an hour, I think, something like that, 45, 55 minutes.
Something 45.
I think this would be a good place to.
Are those the J. Cole kicks?
Yes, sir. The Dreamers.
I've been looking at those. I'm like, oh, it's kind of hard.
They're really comfortable, but they're also narrow considering I have a wide foot. And
it's interesting. Those are supposed to be basketball sneakers.
Right. Maybe it's just my foot. I think I should have got him a 10.5. Yo, Cole, send me a pair. 10.5, please. Thank you. And come on the show.
He's going to send you an invoice with it.
Bro, send me an invoice. But make sure you sign it. Take a selfie with him saying these are for the How I Get Here podcast. Because dreamers get high. You heard?
Hey, higher ups.
See what I did there? No.
Oh, we got to get Trey on here.
Yeah.
We got to get Trey.
We got to get Trey back on the show. But shit, it's 50 minutes now. Let's 15 seconds of fame.
And wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
Bet. So I wrote mine out this week. Sorry. I would say anytime you're ready to make an excuse, find a solution and just see where it goes. I think a lot of times we're so quick. There's so many times I'm ready to sell myself on not doing something. Like I almost sold myself on not going to the gym. And I know I'm like, yo, I don't take 2 days off in a row.
Facts.
And I was like, you know what? Just do it. So instead, I just see a lot of people, they'll make an excuse for themselves and they'll sell themselves short. find a solution and then decide if you're willing to put in the effort to reach said solution. That's my 15 seconds.
Word. Well, shit. We are happy to be at the Creative Campus, calling this place home. You know, we appreciate you guys having us and look forward to many more things going on here. Creatives, tap in with us. Tap in with Court Vision.
Keyword exclusivity.
Yeah, because
not everybody invited. Respectfully.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of big, great things coming out of here. So thank you guys for allowing us to call, you know, this beautiful place home. And my 15 seconds of fame is going to be very simple. I feel like I should have been looking at this camera the whole time, but I'm going to work on that.
Yo, Brian been moving.
Facts. This nigga gotten his 10,000 steps today.
Yeah.
Ashbry, thank you guys for being great. My thing is very simple. Check on your friends. You know what I mean? Everybody is going through something. You never know how far a simple hello goes or how you doing. A hug. Yo, I'm thinking about you. Like, really, really check in on the people that are around you, close and far. And with that being what I said,
my head just went so far left. Just send them a random picture to brighten up their day.
Oh, okay. Bro, I kind of want to. We should start like doing our handshake now that we got like a centerpiece and shit.
You know, it's funny. I think moving forward, I should sit on the left side and you should sit on the right. Left brain, right brain.
Oh, that'd be like a dope play on shit.
Yeah, and then it'd make more sense to do the. Yeah.
Okay, word. Well, shit, we're gonna work on that because this is the best fucking podcast in CT, and we come in here to wrap up, take over, and blow things up in the fucking new year, and that's a wrap.
Holler. Yo, Brian, you had me dying. He's like, all right, that angle. All right, that angle.